Guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today we're going to be breaking down the Kenobi Series episode 1. Before we start, what do you guys think of the episode? I think it started off very well. We'll go ahead and do the breakdown, do our reactions at the end, and on the next episode we'll add in a predictions of what the future episodes will be like. This is a spoiler warning for the Kenobi series. If you haven't seen the Kenobi series, stop the video and watch the episodes. Once you finish watching the episodes, come back and watch our breakdown of the episode and our reactions to the episode. Let's get started. It starts off very great by having the title card a long time ago in a galaxy far away. And then a great recap of the prequels. After the recap, it started off at the Jedi Temple in Coruscant, where the Padawans and the Jedi Master are practicing their techniques. Two 501st clone troopers trying to execute Order 66, but the Jedi Master was able to defend the Padawans. She leads them down the corridor where she has to fight off more clone troopers. Eventually the Jedi Master that was protecting the Padawans was eventually killed off. One of the Padawans told them that they had to continue to run. Then it pans out where you can see a vast majority of a battle between the Jedi and the clone troopers. Opens up with the Inquisitors landing in Tatooine. The Inquisitors walk up to a saloon, and the Grand Inquisitor makes a monologue saying how to hunt down a Jedi. During this monologue, Reva is being shown that she is impatient and decides to throw a knife at the saloon owner. But the knife was being stopped by the Force, which is used by the Jedi that was hidden inside the saloon. Then they try to corner him. Reva ignites her lightsaber and was about to kill the Jedi, but the Grand Inquisitor stops her, which gave the Jedi enough time to make an escape. The Grand Inquisitor went up to Reva and told her that she is reckless and that she has to forget about hunting down Kenobi. Then it cuts to Kenobi working as a butcher as he cuts some meat for him and his EOP. As it was time to close for the day, all the workers were closing out their time, but one of the workers was complaining about the pay, but the owner pushed him around and Kenobi stood by helpless. He wants to help, but he has to stay out of trouble so he won't draw attention. When he reaches home, there's a scanner from an astromech droid to signal him if there was anyone in the home. It signals blue, which means it was in the clear. And then a Jawa, its name is Tika, offers him a toy, which Kenobi lowballs him because the condition plus it was dirty. It was comical that he was missing parts for his evaporator. Tika offers him the missing parts, in which he knew that Tika was reselling his stolen parts. This reminds us of when the Jawas stripped the Razor Crest in the Mandalorian series, and Mando had to get the Mudhorn's egg in exchange for the parts. Then it cuts to Obi-Wan sleeping at night, having memories of the prequel moments of him and Anakin. He wakes up and he tries to reach out for Qui-Gon, but there was no response. Then the next day, Kenobi is watching over Luke as Luke is helping Owen on the farm. But while Owen was working on Evaporator, Luke runs away, only for Obi-Wan to find that Luke went out to play as if he was in the pod race. Later on that day, Kenobi was confronted by that surviving Jedi, which reveals himself to be Nari. Nari tried to beg Kenobi to go back into the fight, but Kenobi refuses and rejects that he is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He tells Nari to forget about being a Jedi and live a normal life. Now it cuts to in Alderaan. Princess Leia was being dressed up to go to a Senate meeting, but it was a decoy. As you remember, her late mother Padme loves to use decoys. Leia uses the decoy for her to go out into the forest to go look at ships that were leaving the planet. She talks to a droid that is named Lola. Her mother finds Leia and they head back, and she confiscates the droid, but then Leia hugs her mother and asks for forgiveness, but she gathers her little droid, depicting her conniving and rebellious ways. Cut back to Kenobi. As Kenobi continues his daily routine, Owen comes by and tosses the toy that Kenobi left for Luke. Owen is very headstrong that he doesn't want Kenobi nearby Luke, for he doesn't want Luke to become Anakin. Then the Inquisitors arrive and Kenobi has to stay hidden while they interrogate the crowd, in which they dismembered a civilian, and Reva deeply interrogates Owen. She makes a clear point to everyone that the Jedi are cowards and they will not fight for them. Owen tells Reva that he doesn't like the Jedi. He thinks that the Jedi are vermin, and he shoots down vermin on his farm. Reva was about to execute Owen because nobody was giving her information about the Jedi, until the fifth brother stops Reva and places a puck with Nari's bounty. The fifth brother confronts Reva to point out that she is being very reckless and believes that Kenobi is nowhere to be found and she is wasting her time. Back in Alderaan, Leia is being seen with her mother going through the town, and she's waving to the crowds and everyone is acknowledging her as the Princess Leia. In a Senate meetup, C-3PO is seen in the crowd. Leia and her cousin were having a dialogue in which the cousin says that Leia is not a true Organa and that she doesn't belong. Leia, using her senator skills and using a little bit of the Force to look deep inside her cousin, putting him in place by saying that he is fearful of failing his father and not becoming what his father wants him to be. Then Bail Organa and Leia have a little moment with each other. Leia is very more attached to Bail. Then she was able to leave for the forest, and Bail Organa sends a unit to get her. In the forest, she gets chased by kidnappers led by Vect. Then, of course, the comical Disney chase, which leads to her getting captured. Cut back to Kenobi. He is looking out, and then he hears a communication device was ringing. It was Bail that calls to Kenobi. Bail Organa begs Kenobi to go rescue Leia, but Kenobi tells Bail that he wasn't the person that he was 10 years ago, and he has only one mission, is to watch over Luke Skywalker. So he continuously rejects Bail's request, but Bail made a point that Leia is as important as Luke, but Kenobi continues to reject. As Kenobi continues to do his daily routine and he returns from work, lifeless Nari is seen to be displayed in the town center as a warning. Kenobi returns home and the sensor turns red to signal him that someone is there. As he enters, he sees a hooded figure, which turns out to be Bail Organa. Bail Organa begs Kenobi to move on from the past and his fear of failing Anakin and go save Leia for one last fight. Now cut to Leia, in which she is in a ship with the kidnappers, which are led by Vect. She was able to activate Lola and have Lola use the circular saw to cut the rope, but was interrupted by Vect, in which he grabbed Lola and throws it to the ground, which damaging Lola. Then it cuts him making a call to Reva, and she reveals that the grand plan is to use the kid as bait to draw out Kenobi. Now cutting to Kenobi, he travels to the middle of the desert to dig up a box that contains his and Anakin's lightsaber. He contemplates about it. As before he docks on the ship, he hesitates on leaving Tatooine because he knows he is abandoning his mission, but he is going to fulfill his promise to Bail, which he opens his cloak revealing his lightsaber. And that's the end of episode 1. Episode 1 did an outstanding job on setting the pace and the mood of each character. Kenobi shows his depression and his PTSD not only because of the Clone Wars, but most importantly, of failing Anakin. In order to stay hidden, he continuously rejects the Jedi way in multiple people that continuously to ask him for help. But he cannot draw attention because his life and the future hope, which is Luke Skywalker, would be in jeopardy. This is a tough time for him because he has to abandon his life, which is majorly based on the Jedi way. He has to avoid confrontation, and he has to reject that he is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He has to go by his name, Ben. He even buried his and Anakin's lightsaber in a box in the middle of the desert, which is nowhere near his home. There was a little nitpicking on the episode, such as the comical chase with Leia and the kidnappers and Vect. And it was a huge nod with this series following the same pace as the video game Jedi Fallen Order. If you haven't played the video game Jedi Fallen Order, you should play it. It is very, very good. It takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. We will rate this episode a 4.5 out of 5 stars. There will be no predictions because episode 2 already been released, but we'll bring it out on the next episode because episode 3 will be released later on this week. Hope you enjoyed this little breakdown and our reactions to the first episode. Stay tuned for the next episode. I hope you have a great day, and may the Force be with you.